Good morning. So this is an IELTS reading session related to travel. So the aim of the video, this lesson is to grab maximum sentence from here, get an insight into essays as well as in the for your speaking section. So if you're aiming for good result, then you can use that same idea. So travel, so instead of starting like in the 24th century comma or some sentences like that, you can just start like from the primitive time, right? Old age. So that's how this reading has started. Travel has existed. See, no one write like this. Okay, so that's why it's written by like good scholars. That's why the language will be definitely good. Travel has existed since the beginning of time. So since the beginning of time, when primitive man, old man, so primitive age, primitive man set out, often traversing great distance in search of game, which provided the food and clothing necessary for his survival. So what is the meaning of traversing? Okay, traversing means travel across. That is known as travels. He traveled across great distance. That's what the sentence meant. He travels the forest. Okay. So one more sentence is Stanley travels the continent from west to east. Bounded on the east by Lake Winnebago, the country is traversed by the Wolf and Fox rivers. So it's from here to here. So much distance it's covering, not a short distance. Okay, to move or travel through any area. Traverse. He traversed the forest, which means travel across or through. Okay. Next sentence is throughout the course of history, people. So it's like a course of history. Okay, throughout the old age, throughout the course of history, people have traveled for purposes. See, what are the purposes? See, S is the plural sentence. Okay, be careful with this type of silly mistakes. Travel for purpose of trade. So in speaking section they will ask, right? Old age in the old, like related to history, whether they were traveling and all. Okay, throughout the course of history, people have traveled for purpose of trade, religious conviction. Religious conviction means conviction actually means crime. Okay, religious conviction, economic gain, war, migration, and other equally compelling motivations. You can definitely imagine you will be definitely getting good grades if you are banned, if you are saying all these things, because we are traveling for okay job, work, all those things will come into our mind, but all these things, migration, war, for economic gain, religious conviction, trade, so this, it definitely has an equally compelling motivations. And so instead of saying and so on, etc., and other equally compelling motivations, so these are the style which you have to answer. In the Roman era, wealthy aristocrats and high government officials also traveled for pleasure. Okay, so these are the purposes. Okay, travel for pleasure. Seaside resorts located at Dash afforded citizens the opportunity to escape to their vacation villas in order to avoid the summer heat. Opportunity to escape to their vacation. See, travel, the same thing only, escape to their vacation villas. So some of the sentence set out, traverse, then travel different places, what are the purpose, then for summer vacation, summer heat, to escape the summer heat. Travel except during the dark age has continued to grow and throughout recorded history has played a vital role. Vital means important, okay? Important, significant, vital, preponderant. One vocabulary is the role in the development of civilizations and their economy. So, it definitely played a role in the development of civilization. So, civilians, okay, afforded citizens, people. Rather than saying people, you can individual, you can say afforded citizens, civilians. Throughout the recorded history has played a vital role in the development of civilization and their economies. Tourism in the mass form, as we know it today, is a distinctly 20th century phenomenon. See, this mass tourism is different. Mass tourism and travel is different. They travel for different purposes. Tourism purpose, that they are traveling in the 20th century phenomenon. Fine. Okay, phenomenon means it's an unusual or strange existing thing, that is known as the phenomenon. Okay, so it's a distinctly. What is the meaning of distinctly? Okay, in a way that is clearly noticeable or very definite. Definition, definite. So the clearly noticeable, that is known as distinctly. Okay, so good vocabulary, distinctly. So the sentence are, his every word could be heard quite distinctly, means quite clearly. I distinctly remember asking him. I clearly remember those days when you are saying for speaking. I distinctly remember asking him. I began to feel distinctly disturbed. Okay, so this is about tourism. Different vocabulary is mass tourism. Okay, and the solution for the tourism problem is ecotourism. So I made already a video related to ecotourism. You can watch that. Historians suggest that the advent. Okay, what is the meaning of advent? Arrival of a notable person or thing is known as advent. Arrival, advent. The advent of television, advent of technology. Historians suggest that the advent of mass tourism began in England during the Industrial Revolution with the rise of the middle class and the availability of relatively inexpensive transportation. So the reason for the tourism is that during the Industrial Revolution, so the reasons are rise of the middle class, okay, and inexpensive. If an ex say, they will be asking what are the causes of mass tourism, you can say it's this thing, rise of the wage, rise of the middle class, and the availability of relatively inexpensive transportation. Okay, this is the meaning of advent. Okay, arrival, appearance, emergence. The creation of the commercial airline industry following the Second World War and the subsequent development of the jet aircraft in the 1950s. See how we have to write 1950. It's a small s, not capital S. Signaled the rapid growth and expansion of international travel. Okay, so what are this is the second course. Okay, so we studied two courses, or rise of the middle class as well as the affordable transport, inexpensive, relatively. See, this kind of vocabulary is good. You need in the essays. Inexpensive transportation, commercial airline industry, and subsequent development of the subsequent means what? Following development of the jet aircraft in the 1950s. Signal, it resulted in the rapid growth and expansion of international travel. rapid growth and expansion. So rapid is a good vocabulary, and growth and expansion, whenever an expansion is there, you can write growth and expansion together. Okay, this growth lead, it's see the one of the common mistake, it's the past tense of led. This growth led to the development of a major industry, a major new industry. See how they wrote this. See that punctuation, semicolon, right? Not, yeah, that punctuation. See, that is because the entire thing, which whatever written over here, that is about tourism. Okay, so that if you write that punctuation, definitely you will get more mark, because it shows that you know how to use that punctuation, right? So you can think like this. Suppose if your sentence is, this growth led to the development of major new industry known as tourism. Instead of that known as, so called, is called as, just add this punctuation, colon. Okay. In turn, international tourism became the concern of a number of world governments, since it not only provided new employment opportunities, but also produced a means of earning foreign exchange. See, I already created one video related to tourism. There are also the same points, foreign exchange. Okay, so that is the importance of tourism, and the points will be more, several times it's the same. So what are the positive side of tourism? It provides new employment opportunities, produce a means of earning foreign exchange investment. Okay, tourism today has grown significantly. Say grown, third form of grow, right? And grown significantly in both economic and social importance. In most industrialized countries, over the past few years, the fastest growth has been seen in the area of services. So this hospital industry, tourism industry, which are mostly related to services. So there is a fastest growth. See how they are explaining the growth. Grown significantly, rapid growth and expansion. Everything is related to growth. Subsequent development, rapid growth and expansion, grown significantly in both economic and social importance. In most interlies, fastest growth. So it's different vocabulary, right? So you can choose one or two and then learn for yourself. One of the largest segments of the service industry, although largely unrecognized as an entity in some of these countries, is travel and tourism. C2 means band 9 level vocabulary. Entity means having its own independent existence. Okay, let's read. The museums work closely together, but are separate legal entities. See, they have their own existence, right? Although they are part, but they have an independence building, right? Museum and all. So that's known as considered. So tourism is considered as entity in some of these countries. He regarded the north of the country as a separate cultural entity. So there is a difference, and it has its own independence existence, that is known as cultural entity. If you want, you can just check your regional language, okay, mother tongue. What is the exact meaning in your language? According to the World Travel and Tourism Council, travel and tourism is the largest, fastest growing industry, grown significantly, largest industry in the world on virtually any economic measure, okay, including value. See, this is the important point. Value added capital investment, employment, tax contribution. That only they are previously told foreign exchange. Same idea only. You can say it added value. Value is the value added capital investment, employment, tax contribution. So that's the economic measure related to travel and tourism. So previously they were talking about provide a new employment opportunity, means of earning foreign exchange. Same idea, right? Along with that, you can say tax contributions. In 1992, the industry's gross output, income, okay. So industries, the spelling is not INDUS, DRIES. The spelling is like this, okay. In 1992, the industries, see this apostrophe has a meaning towards, okay. It has a meaning. It's difficult to explain, okay. In 1992, the industry's gross output was estimated to be X amount over 12%. See, percent, there is a gap, 12% of all consumer spending. So, industry's gross output equal to all consumer spending. It's like how they will confuse you in the listening. Okay, you will be expecting income. No, it's not there like that. Industry's gross output and all consumer spending. Even essays, you can't use the same thing again and again. So you can use this type of vocabularies. The travel and tourism industry is the world's largest employer and see, fastest growing industry, world's largest employer. It gives employment opportunity. What they used, world's largest employer. Okay, almost, see, before any number they will be writing something relatively, almost 130 million jobs or almost 7% of all employees. Okay, the industry is the world's leading industrial contributor. Different vocabulary to explain the travel and tourism industry. It's the world's, see, before we learn what, world's largest employer, world's leading industrial contributor. Can I ask you one frank question to you? Did you know this type of sentence, vocabularies? No, right? Okay. This industry is the world's leading industrial contributor, producing over 6% of the world's national product. World's national product, leading industrial contributor, and accounting for capital investment in excess, almost in excess of $422 billion, direct, indirect, and personal taxes each year. Personal tax. That's what tax consumption. Previously we learned, right? Tax, it's not consumption, tax contributions. Fine. So that only the vocabulary, personal taxes. Tax contribution equal to personal tax each year. Thus tourism has a profound impact. Deep, okay, profound, deep impact both on the world economy and because of the educating effect of travel and the effects on employment and on society. See, again, employment importance they are talking about. Okay. However, the major problems of the travel and tourism industry is that have hidden or obscured. It has both meaning. Hidden. See, obscure means not known to many people. So that is the meaning. And obscure island in the specific. No one knows. Okay. And obscure, 12th century mystic. So that is hidden. Okay, not known. Its economic impact are the diversity and fragmentation of industry itself. There are, say, how much income. It's like different types of people are there, starting from the street food to food that we get in the high posh restaurants. So these are the, so it's difficult if it's a street, if tourists are having food from the street food, so we won't be getting that idea, right? How much income. So that economic impact is hidden or obscured. Okay. See, followed by a comma or obscured almost has similar meaning. Are the diversity? Why that is hidden? Because of the diversity and fragmentation of industry, fragmentation of the industry itself. See, here also they used like itself. Okay, on society itself, of the industry itself, that usage. The travel industry include, what are the now travel industry? So why we that everything is hidden or obscure? The travel industry includes hotels, motel, and other types of accommodation, restaurants, and other food services, transportation services and facility, amusements, attraction, and other leisure facility, gift shops, and a large number of other enterprises. So can you check how they used this punctuation? The travel industry includes, see, they, because it's a plural, so several points are there, that's why S is there, and instead of first of all, firstly, secondly, like that, instead of that, how they wrote, they put a punctuation, semicolon, and then they wrote about hotel, motels, and other type of accommodation. So they are talking here only about accommodation. Now then instead of secondly they wrote restaurants and other food services, then again semicolon, transportation service and facility, again semicolon. Now it's going to leisure side, third point, third or okay, amusements, attraction, and other leisure facility, okay, and again other points. So it's related to gift shops and a large number of other enterprises. Enterprises means it's like for business. Okay, since many of these businesses, spelling of business, first it's like bus in SS. Okay, since many of these businesses, okay, these, okay, it's since many of these business, they are not saying these, they are saying because it's in the plural. If you write this, it will be a grammar mistake. Since many of these businesses also serve local residents, the impact of spending by, okay, spending by visitors. Previously we studied spending by consumers, I guess, tax payment. Okay, spending by visitors, gross output, spending by visitors, spending by customers, tourists, can easily be overlooked or underestimated. Overlooked means the same meaning, failed to look, that is known as overlooked. Okay, or underestimated, good vocabulary needed. Overlooked or underestimated. Since many of these business also serve local residents. Okay, so it's beneficial even for the local residents. It can be easily overlooked or underestimated. In addition, X points out that tourism industry involves concepts that remain amorphous to both analysts and decision makers. What is the meaning of amorphous? Amorphous means having no fixed shape or fixed form or shape is known as amorphous. An amorphous mass of jelly, no fixed shape. It's difficult to define, right? Concepts that have remained amorphous to both analysts and decision makers. Green is the text and yellow is the meaning. Okay. Moreover, in all nations, this problem has made it difficult for the industry to develop any type of reliable or credible tourism. So, reliable or credible tourism, vocabulary, adjectives. In all nations, this problem, so it's difficult, it's amorphous to see. The things is that tourism industry involves concepts. Concepts related to tourism is have remained amorphous. Okay, have remained. The tourism industry involves concepts that have remained amorphous to both dash 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 decision makers. So that's the reason. Moreover, in all nations, this problem has made it difficult for the industry to develop any type of reliable or credible tourism. Information based in order to estimate, in order to, how they wrote. Splitted words, fine. In order to estimate the contribution it makes to regional, national and global economies. So we cannot calculate, that's what they are saying it. So that's why it's known as it's not reliable or credible tourism. Okay. However, the nature of this very diversity makes travel and tourism ideal vehicles. See, in one more IELTS passage, I saw the same thing, vehicle. So no one write it's a travel and tourism is a vehicle. So if they didn't use in that sense, right? Okay. However, the nature of this very diversity makes it's a diversity that's make travel and tourism ideal vehicles for economic development in a wide variety of countries, regions or communities. So it's a what make the travel and tourism unique, that's its diversity makes travel and tourism ideal vehicles for economic development. Once the exclusive province of the travel and tourism have become an institutionalized way of life for most of the people. See, travel and tourism is considered as I discussed those points in the ecotourism. So nowadays, I guess ecotourism or different tourism. This is the third video related to tourism. Fine. So, see, the thing is that institutionalized, what they are going to say is that, see, nowadays modern society, the people are thinking, those who travel, they are considered as a marker of status. Okay, tourism is considered as marker of status these days. Okay, once the exclusive province of the wealthy, travel and tourism have become an institutionalized way of life for most of the people. Okay. This is the best meaning. See, if we are saying someone is institutionalized, which means they gradually become less able to think. So if someone is institutionalized means they will be less able to think, act independently because of having lived for a long time under the rules of an institution. See, okay. See, if someone's spent so much time in the military, their character become how different. They are like a so much strict person, right? So you can say institutionalized. We need to avoid long stay patients in the hospital becoming institutionalized. Okay, institutionalized. Fine. So that's only they are saying over here. Once the exclusive province of the wealthy, travel and tourism have become an institutionalized way of life for most of the population. It become part of their life. In fact, X suggests that tourism has become the largest commodity item in international trade for many nations and for significant different for all nations, or you can say significant number of other countries. It's ranked second or third. Say for many different countries, you can say for a significant, which is the better sentence. It's a significant number of other countries, right? So they are talking about the different countries over here. However, because of problems of definition, which directly affects statistical measurement, it is not possible with any degree of certainty to provide precise, valid, or reliable data about the extent of worldwide tourism participation or its economic impact. See, it's all this paragraph they are talking about. It's difficult to uh, calculate the economic impact. So that's they wrote in a different sentence. With it's not possible with any degree of certainty to provide precise, correct information, valid or reliable information data about the extent of worldwide tourism participation. So how many tourists are participating? How many tourists are traveling? More than that, about the extent of worldwide hyphenated tourism participation. How many tourists are there? That is, they explain like participation or its economic impact. In many cases, similar difficulties arise when attempts are made to measure domestic tourism. So it's not only limited to international tourism, but it's also limited to domestic tourism. So thank you.